Hello and welcome to this unit ICT. In this video, we are going to cover the third part of our ICT syllabus, which is the digital initiatives under higher education. Now, before I begin with these specific initiatives, I would like to give you a small background and key terms, right, that we will use throughout this video. One is that we need to understand that in today's knowledge economy, and to be able to keep pace with all the information, all the knowledge that is available, it is important that we take advantage of the digital revolution. Now, although the digital revolution has hit all the countries including India, but there's also something known as digital divide. That means not everybody is taking advantage of the digital revolution. The rich and the poor, there's a divide there. So in India also, right, the government of India really has this responsibility to make sure that we bridge the digital divide. It could be in terms of access of information, access to good education, access to good content, access to good teachers, and all of that. So probably a few statistics to illustrate the same would be, if we let's say look at the number of graduates. So let's say if you have rural India and you have the urban India. Now, according to data, there are only 4.5% of the folks are graduates in your rural India, whereas the number is 17% in 17% graduates in your urban area. Now, this stark divide, right, between the two. In fact, if you look at the female graduates, right, in rural and urban areas, this is even bigger, the difference. So 2.2% here, right, the females here, and in your urban area the female graduates are only about 13%. So now stats like this, so this is one stat, one issue that we are trying to resolve. Second thing is, if you look at the gross enrollment ratio and something that is here, this is GER. So if you look at our enrollment in our higher education institutions, it is according to the 2015 to 2016 data, we were around 24.5%, and the goal of the government is that by 2020 we should be here somewhere around 30. That should be our gross enrollment ratio. So these are some of the key initiatives. These are some of the key parameters where we want to improve. And how do we improve that? Is that by taking advantage of the technology that is available to us. Also, if you look at Ministry of Human Resources and Development, under them there is this department NMEICT, and their role is nothing but to democratize education. That is, how do we make sure that no matter from which state you are, no matter from what is your family background, how do we make sure that we give quality resources to all Indians in our country, that everybody has the right to high quality education, right, and they can access and really be part of this knowledge economy and can take the country ahead. Another thing that you may also see is that a lot of our centers or initiatives are also based out of this in FlibNet, right? So this is nothing but this is Information and Library Network Center. So there could be questions on, let's say, the abbreviations, and they may ask you what is the full form of this. Not really, this is very easy, but maybe NMEICT, even in FlibNet. Now this is also located in Gandhinagar, Gujarat. These are a few terms and key things that I thought I will discuss in my video before we go to the specific initiatives. Let's move on to the digital initiatives now. So the first digital initiative is really your Swayam, right, which is study webs of active learning for young aspiring minds. Now, what is this? In one word, if I have to explain this, I would say you have to just remember this, and this is what it is, right? So it is an indigenous MOOCs. Now, what is a MOOC? It is massive open online courses. That means the online courses that are available to all, these are your online courses which a lot of people can access. These are called MOOCs, right? Indigenous meaning because this is made in India, right? This solution is made in India, so this is an indigenous MOOCs, right? One of the indigenous MOOCs. Now, what it does is that Swayam is a platform that provides quality education to anyone, anytime, anywhere, at any point of time. And what it addresses, that there are three cardinal principles of our education policy, right? Access to all, right? Providing equity and quality of education. So it covers all of those three aspects, right? Swayam seeks to bridge the digital divide. This is we have discussed already. And it provides the best teaching learning resources to all, including the most disadvantaged. Why? Because it is absolutely free of cost. All you need is an internet connection and you are good to go. Now, In Swayam, there is a 4-quadrant pedagogy. One is you will get video tutorials on the website, lots of video tutorials, right? In fact, the suggestive data is that it can house up to 2000 courses. That means up to 2000 courses and up to 80,000 hours of training, right? Online content. So this is your video tutorials. Your e-content is also available, a lot of stuff that you can read up, right? There are self-assessments on the portal, there are discussion forums, and in fact discussion forums usually enable what, let's say, peer learning, your social learning, right? Any doubts you have, you can ask, right? Folks discuss there. Self-assessment, in fact, there is also an option of certification. Sometimes the certifications you have to pay a small fee and you can get certified in a particular area, whatever you're learning. Also, the content is created through the various national coordinators, right? And because the content is available for all levels of students, so for example, for school children, it is the platform, the national coordinator is NCRT in that case, right? So 9 to 12th class syllabus. If it's about out of school children, it's National Open School Society who is really the national coordinator. If it's undergraduate, it is the CEC. If it is engineering students we are talking about, then IIT Chennai is responsible for that. So these are the different national coordinators who've created the content, right, on this portal. The platform is developed by Microsoft, right? It's very interactive content, right? There's animation, very interesting. In fact, I'll encourage you to go to the Swayam website and really look at it, you know, on your own. So this is about Swayam. Next is Swayam Prabha. This is really about this is the second initiative, the big initiative in higher education. Now what it is 32 DTH channels. Now all these are providing what? These are providing your high quality educational content 24/7, meaning minimum 4 hours of content, right, per day is what is provided, and this is played 6 times a day. That means 24/7, right? And this is basically really, you know, available to everyone. And the InflameNet portal, right, which I just mentioned, right, is in Gandhinagar, Gujarat, that maintains the web portal, and all these are DTH channels are all telecasted using the GS80 satellite. Again, it has content for everybody, not only students but also for teachers. It also assists students in competitive exams preparation. That means if, let's say, you want to prepare for IIT and you don't have the access, so you will have access to you can prepare using this IIT PAL, which is a program for aspiring aspirants who want to join IIT. And here you can discuss on multiple things like maths, physics, chemistry, bio, these 4 syllabus, right? So this is around your Swayam Prabha. Now moving on, we have National Digital Library. Now what is National Digital Library? That we want to build a national asset. That means this is going to be the digital national asset, right, so to speak, and it's sanctioned to IIT Kharagpur. So what they are doing is that it is basically to collect, preserve and disseminate all entire intellectual output of the country. So if you want to spread the entire intellectual output of the country, this is for that, preserving all of that. And this is to collect all the e-contents for school, whether it's for college, whether it's for higher education, everything, right? And also serves as a pan-India virtual teaching, learning, evaluation, knowledge platform. So this really is NDL is by IIT Kharagpur, and you have around 72 lakh digital books. That means your 72 lakh your digital ebooks available already, on the platform. More than 15 lakh people have registered, right? 15 lakh people have registered themselves on the portal, and this really is towards building the national asset for the country. Now next is NAD, which is National Academic Depository, right? This is to facilitate digital issuance, storage, access and verification of academic awards. So imagine a situation where you have to go ask for your mark sheets, for your certificates, you have to go do multiple rounds of the university of your college. Now what we are saying is, we are saying that we will provide you a secure, right, and this is also very convenient. So what it does is it also reduces inefficiencies in the system, wherein the administration has to answer your multiple queries on your certificates, right? You have to do away with that, right? It's also secure. So if people have sometimes, let's say, these fraudulent or let's say fraud certificates, so it's a very secure portal. So you can validate and you can record all of your all of your digital certificates here. So very secure, really removes the inefficiencies of the physical. It's like paperless, right? We are moving towards paperless, right? So less paper, all the digital certificates. So helps both the institution as well as the student. So this is about your National Academic Depository. eShodh Sindhu. So what this really is, that this is an initiative which is formed after merging these three initiatives: Infonet Digital Library, NLIST, and INDEST AICT Consortium. Now what eShodh Sindhu does is, in simple terms, if I have to say what it does is, it's a formidable collection of e-journals. That means what we are doing is, we are saying all the educational academic institutions, we will provide you e-journals, and these are the best e-journals available in the entire world, meaning you have more than 15,000 international electronic journals. So, and these are at a very low fee. That means a very low fee it's provided to all the academic institutes, right? And it also wants to promote more of these ebooks, right? And so that institutes can make best use of your electronic journals, your ebooks. And it also not only monitors, it also promotes really the usage of these e-resources, subscription based, like I said, and really a step towards taking the country to be more information rich society. So this is your eShodh Sindhu. Now next is virtual labs, as the name suggests, right? What are virtual labs? Now if you have to really conduct experiments, right, as students of, let's say, science or any other different discipline, right, if you want to conduct experiments, these are expensive, because a lot of times your the equipments are very expensive, right? They're very complicated, and it's difficult to really share. So if multiple institutes want to share these equipments, it becomes very difficult. But thanks to the digital era, right, today we have these web enabled experiments, right? They can be designed, and they can be designed in such a way that they can be remotely operated. That means you need not be physically be there. And now what this does is, this really encourages curiosity and innovation into our students, because you can actually see how an experiment is done and the result in front of eyes, without really have to incur the huge expense of these physical equipments. Now today most of the equipments, if you see, really have computer interface for control and data storage. So all you need is really an internet connection, right? So all you need is internet connection. So this is infrastructural setup for conducting experiment at user premises, right? One computer terminal with broadband is all that is needed to promote these experiments. So and a lot of colleges and students are making use of this. 205 virtual labs in 9 engineering and science disciplines, right? You will see 1515 experiments are operational, right, as we speak, and more than 6 lakh students are accessing it. So this is, I think, a great initiative, especially for the sciences and engineering disciplines. Now next is campus connectivity. This is very simple. Now what has happened is that from the PMO, right, from Prime Minister's office, right, the MHRD, and from the Digital India initiative, this has come that MHRD should encourage, right, and make sure that the universities and the big campuses that we have all have internet connection. So if you look at IITs and IIMs and NITs, all have Wi-Fi campuses, but even the MHRD is also looking at other central universities which do not have. So the work is in progress to make sure all of these campuses are Wi-Fi enabled, and they have strong internet connection. So this is on campus connectivity. Now what is eYantra? This is just about incorporating robotics into engineering education. That means eYantra is about robotics, because today you have artificial intelligence, machine learning, and a lot of companies are using that. So to be industry ready, right, how our engineering students really have the access, and how they can actually have the equipment that they need, right, to understand more on robotics, etc. So this is to really engage students and give them the hands-on application and experience of your mathematics, computer science, and engineering principles. So eYantra, all about robotics, incorporating robotics in engineering education. Few other things to remember is that presently eYantra is in 100+ colleges, right? The first phase was very successful, and this is now developed by IIT Bombay, right? You can also access it on that particular website. So it really, what it does is that it is creating skills by setting up lab infrastructure for project based learning, and it is in more than 100 engineering colleges. So that's a lot about eYantra. Moving to this initiative, Talk to a Teacher. Now this is a initiative by IIT Bombay. What it does is that what we are doing is that we are providing free access to few selected graduate and postgraduate courses that are currently run at IIT Bombay by these distinguished scholars and faculty members, and these will be provided at to these select courses, right? Also for this there is a view, a collaboration tool, right, to enable this Talk to a Teacher, and that tool was developed by Amrita University, right, for providing virtual classrooms, and these courses are absolutely free and they can be accessed at lower bandwidth. I think that is very important. So even if somebody is disadvantaged and may not have the good bandwidth, all they need is a personal computer, their PC and a headphone and internet connection, and they can access to these courses by these top professors and scholars at IIT Bombay. So that's about Talk to a Teacher. You have eAcharya, right? So what is eAcharya is nothing but it's an integrated e-content portal. So if you say integrated e-content portal, so what it is really doing is that it's around the preservation of digital content, right? And how do we make sure that the repository of all the e-content, right, that was produced by NME ICT initiatives, right? It's really that repository, and this is at in FlibNet Center, right? The basic tenets are, again, like I said, preservation of digital content, and also it implements the standard metadata schema, right, to ensure that long term, that content is available really for the long term as well, right? And there is this concept of lifelong learning that we are also doing through these digital initiatives, so really in line with that. The next one is your FOSSEE, or the free and open source software for education, right? So what it does is it is really about promoting the open source software, right? So what you're doing is you're promoting open source software in all your educational institutes, right? So it's sanctioned to IIT Bombay. They are doing this work of promoting this, and what it does is it does that through instructional materials, spoken tutorials, documentation, and really to implements a lot of, like I said, the metadata schema, right, to ensure long-term availability of the digital content and to really promote the open source software in educational institutes. Okay, next is eCalper. Now again, what is eCalper? It's about, again, creating digital learning, and for whom? This is digital learning environment for design in India. So it's all about design in India. So how do we create, right, online learning for teaching somebody design? So it's around that. And what we do here is that we have social networking for higher learning with collaborative learning space for designs, right? There is digital design resource database that is available to everyone, right? There are design inputs for products, right, through this NME ICT, and in fact there are more than 50 video lectures. If you actually go on the website, you will get to know more. On the eCalper website there are more than 50 video lectures on designs that are available. There are close to 110 case studies that are available on the site, and there are 160 courses, right, that you will find on the site. So all about creating digital learning environment for design in our country. Next is central cloud infrastructure. This is basically about that IIT Delhi is endowed the responsibility, they are given the responsibility to set up this 24/7 robust data center, and the cloud is called Badal. So what they have to do is that they have to they are currently hosting all the e-content, right, all the documents, the e-documents, right, and the video content of eAcharya, right? So this is the initiative that's given to IIT Delhi. Now before we close this, the last initiative that we are going to discuss in this video is eWith1. So what is eWith1? eWith1 is really to collect all the academic and research profile of scientists, faculty and research students scientists, working in leading academic R&D institutions in India and abroad. So it's eWidwan is mostly around a premier database, I would say a premier database of all scientists, premier database, right, that is available. And what it does is that it houses a lot of experts. So the latest, so I went through their website and there were close to 29846, that means more than 29,000, right, experts are already on that portal. There are more than 4,000, right, organizations that are there. And if you look at if you look at the citations available on the website, so that was close to 4 lakh 40,094, right, on their sites available. These are the number of citations available. So it's really a huge depository to make sure that all of our scientists, all of our the think tanks, right, all the scientists, their database is available, so that they can talk to each other, they can collaborate, right, if somebody needs help. So about prospective collaborators, funding agencies, policymakers, they can all stay connected, right, to establish communication directly with the experts who possess the expertise required by research scholars. So if I'm a researcher and I want access to somebody who has done work on that same thing earlier, and these big names all are there, so this is that platform which helps me. And you can identify peer reviewers for review of articles. You can get your articles, research proposals reviewed. So really a great networking opportunity available to our scientists in the country. So I think we've discussed a lot of these big digital initiatives for higher education, and all of these are great initiatives. This video was a lot about content sharing, right? So we've curated this content going to multiple government sources, and from there putting this content in the right way. But I would urge you to still go to these websites, the government websites, to learn more about these initiatives. So thanks for watching this video, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.